Hey everybody, I'm Scott Stanton, the original Tombstone tourist, and today we're in Bangor, Maine. This is the most northern cemetery I've been to in the States, and we are in Mount Hope Cemetery. And if that sounds familiar to you and you're not a Tombstone tourist, that's because you're probably a fan of Stephen King, and this is where he shot all of his video cemetery scenes for Pet Sematary. Now, that's across the street. That's the nice cemetery. This is the public cemetery, and this gentleman before us was given a public burial because nobody claimed his body. And his name is Al Brady. Now, who's Al Brady? Have you ever heard of the Brady Gang? Probably not. But you've heard of Bonnie and Clyde, Babyface Nelson, John Dillinger, all gangsters from the 30s due to the Depression. There was a wave of crime in the Midwest, and Al Brady came at the tail end of it. So let's start from the beginning. He was from Indiana, and he really didn't want to work. And so he created a gang with James Dolliver and Clarence Schaefer. And these three gentlemen decided to rob grocery stores every weekend. And they did it within about a 2-3 state area. There it is estimated they robbed over 136 grocery stores, and during that time they killed 3 police officers and 1 young store clerk because they were extremely violent. No reason to be. People gave up the money, but they just decided to kill people. So what happened? Enter the FBI. And with Dillinger already caught and shot down at the theater, they needed a new person to go after, and this is the Brady Gang. He went after him big time. So the Brady Gang decided to drive all the way down to New Orleans to get away from the heat, up to Connecticut, and they decided, hey, Bangor, Maine, who's gonna know us here? Well, they were wrong. So they came into downtown Bangor, Maine, thinking nobody's gonna know them. Remember, it's 1937. They didn't have the internet. Newspapers came out much days later. They thought they were in the clear. And they go into Dawkins hardware store. And I'm going to show you a video in a minute of the downtown and exactly where everything happened. Hey everybody, I am Scott Stanton, the original Tombstone tourist. And today, as you can see, we're at the July 4th holiday. Big, huge street scene. But this is the actual street where the Al Brady Gang met its demise. So right behind me, you're gonna see the Briar Patch bookstore. That used to be Dawkins hardware store. Now, on and around October 10th, 1937, the gang came over here and they were on the run. They were on the FBI's most wanted list, public enemy #1, and they needed ammunition. So they came up over here and they went into Dawkins hardware store and they bought some ammunition, and then they made a fatal mistake. They asked, can you get us a Tommy gun? And the owner came over and said, what do you need a Tommy gun for? And they said, hunting. We need it for hunting because, you know, you need that many bullets to kill a squirrel. So he said, hey, tell you what, why don't you come back in a couple days and I'll have your Tommy gun. So the gang left. They hid out in the remote area here. And he called his friend, the police chief. The police chief called the FBI. The FBI dispatched a whole team here and surrounded this area. And sure enough, on October 12th, 1937, the gang made 2 trips around the block. And then they parked their car approximately where I'm standing right here. Now, James Dolliver, Jimmy, walked into the hardware store, and immediately he was surrounded. And they said, where's the rest of your gang? And he said, they're outside. The minute he said he was outside and he was handcuffed, Clarence Schaefer came blasting into the Dawkins hardware store. And the FBI came back and shot at him, took 5 bullets, and walked to the middle of the street and died. Follow me, and I'll show you where he died. So you can see right behind me is the Briar Patch bookstore, which used to be Dawkins Hardware. He came out here, took 5-6 steps, and died instantly. And I'll show you the picture here in a minute. Now, let me show you where Al Brady died. What had happened was Al Brady saw what was happening, and FBI immediately surrounded his car. And they said, he goes, "Don't worry, I'll give up. I give up, G-Men." Steps out of the car, pulls his guns out, and he goes down in a hail of fire. He died right over here in the middle of the street, but I'll show you the plaque that memorializes it. So, tell you what, let's go back to the cemetery and I'll tell you the rest of the story. Now, this is the biggest event that has ever happened in Bangor, Maine. And you got to come to my website, The Tombstone Tourist, because I have all the photos of everything. It was kept in an archive at the library. I really appreciate their assistance and this untold story. Now, when they were killed, that ended the era of the gangsters, the public enemy number one. Now, a lot of you crime aficionados go, "Scott, no, the last one was Alvis Creepy Carpus." Now, Creepy Carpus was part of the mob Barker gang, but he was caught in May of 1937. So that makes Alfred the very last public enemy number one gunned down. And then after that, they abolished that list and went and called it the most wanted. But it is the most exciting thing to happen in Bangor, Maine. And the funny thing is, the FBI agent who was first on the scene and took a bullet in the shoulder and shot Clarence dead, he lived to be 105. He didn't die that far ago. And I got a great video of an interview with him because he was like the last living relic, because he was a traveler FBI agent. They traveled all over the nation in search of these gangsters. And it was just fabulous storytelling. But he lived to be over 100. So if you want to see that, more photos, more content, and of course me, come to my website, thetombstonetourist.com, for all your great gangster information. But we also have musicians and artists and all that. But I just love these really out of the way stories, and I'm so glad I can bring it to you. Thank you very much, and I will see you on the road.